much for being on with us today, and best of luck to you this season.
Thank you.
Thanks. All right, next up we have Xavier head coach Kevin McGuff. Coach?
Yes.
Hi, good morning.
How you doing?
Good, good. Thanks for being on with us and being patient.
No problem.
Go ahead and get started with you. Just talk about your team, the practices so far, and kind of your expectations for the season.
I've been really encouraged with what we've done so far in the preseason. I think if you look at how we finished last year, we had a great season. We won 30 games, went to the Elite Eight, but in rather dramatic fashion, didn't go to the Final Four. And I was a little curious to see how our players would react in the off season to that, and because I think it could work kind of two ways. It could either kind of be an anchor and weigh us down, and or it could be a motivating factor. And our players have been very motivated. They've worked incredibly hard, and we have a long, long way to go. But I do like where we are right now.
Okay, thank you. We'll go ahead and open it up to members of the media. Please press *1 to ask a question.
And our first question is from Shannon Russell from Cincinnati Enquirer.
Hey, Coach, how are you?
Hey, Shannon.
I was wondering how the number one preseason ranking impacts a team that already is coming in with so many high expectations.
I think that based on what we did last year and who we have returning, I can see why we were voted first. I think the league will be really good, incredibly competitive. I think as good as any year we've ever had. So we're going to have our work cut out, but I also think we have enough upperclassmen that we're mature enough to know that the rankings really don't mean anything right now, whether it be a preseason A-10 poll or a national ranking. It's really about what we're doing on a daily basis and working towards getting better, and that's what I stress with my team every day. Like, I don't care what other people are saying outside of our program, whether it's good or bad. If we're doing the things we should on a daily basis, we have enough talent here that the wins and losses are going to take care of themselves.
Can you talk about balancing the addition of so many newcomers with your core of veterans?
That's probably been the hardest thing, is that we have some really, really talented players who are coming back, and they really know our system and how we do things at Xavier. And then we have some newcomers and some freshmen who are going to potentially be important pieces for us and really give us hopefully what could be a really deep team. But it's been a little tricky, like how fast do we move forward, or how much do we wait for the freshmen to kind of get up to speed and let us all be good at certain things. So, we've started to move a little bit quicker here in the last week, and our freshmen are a little lost, but the thing that they're doing is they've now kind of learned to play with a little more sense of urgency and play harder and communicate more. And so even if they don't exactly do the things that we do and execute the way I want, it still is okay. So, but that's probably been our biggest challenge, just try to get everybody on the same page moving forward.
Are there any of those freshmen that really stand out to you so far?
I really like what Shatira Hawks has done. She gets to go up against Special Jennings, who's I think one of the better point guards in the country, and I think that's been really good for her, and she's made a lot of progress. Lynette Holmes is playing really hard, and she's a really athletic kid with a lot of talent, and I think she's going to be a great player at some point. Those two have really stood out, and Ashley Waninger makes shots and stretches his defense, and Tish Walker gives us a little bit of depth around the basket. But they've all done a little bit of they've all done something at some point to kind of catch your eye, and it'll just be a matter of if they can kind of, as we keep moving forward and adding new things, and if they can keep their head above water and keep doing the things they've been doing to look good at times.
Thanks, Coach.
Sure. Thanks, Jen.
And I have no further questions at this time. Actually, I stand corrected. I do have a question from Shane White from 1660 Information Radio.
Good morning, Coach.
Hey, Shane. How you doing?
Doing just fine. With all the talent that you've got coming back this year, and then this highly touted recruiting class that you have coming in, do you find it difficult to try to temper the expectations of the newcomers while also allowing them to get into the rhythm of your program? Because you've got such a strong core. at some point, do you feel like you have too many talented players?
No, I'd like to think that, but it's such a long season and injuries happen. Like, we already had one of our freshmen, Lakeisha Crouch, who is going to be outstanding, and probably our most heralded freshman. She's already out for the year with an ACL injury. So I'm more worried about our freshmen staying focused on a daily basis to make sure they get better and to learn the things that make our program special. And I really feel like if they keep doing that, their time's going to come. And that's really what I've told them. They've all got plenty of talent, but as you said, they're coming in with people that are 2 or 3 years ahead of them and also have talent. So, but I don't want to discourage them because I do think we have several freshmen that will play, kind of a critical role in how far we can go and what we can achieve this year.
And, of course, looking not to look past this season at all, but, of course, you've got 2 solid seniors in Amber Harris and Tashia Phillips, both very large post presence for you. And
sure.
Then coming up behind them, you've got some 6'2", 6'3", so lose a little bit there, but will that allow you to play some different combinations this year when you give them some rests?
Yeah, that's one of the things. I think that, obviously our size makes us unique in college basketball, and I'm happy to have that, and we have a style of play that can kind of highlight them and their talents. But we can also go a little bit smaller and a little faster at times and give ourselves a different look. And that's something that we will do some just to hopefully keep the other teams off balance and not allow them to just kind of get a game plan going where they're just trying to stop us inside.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thanks.
And I do have another question that comes from Patrick Dillard from Sports Radio 1030.
Hey, Coach, you've got a pretty challenging non-conference schedule. What are your thoughts on that, and what's your overall approach to setting that non-conference schedule?
Well, two things, Patrick. One is that I feel like the team that we have, we needed to be really challenged, and our goal is to be at our best at the end of the season. I thought the best way to do that is to give us as many, top-level opponents as I could early in the year. And I don't expect to go undefeated. I expect us to have some really, really difficult games. And, looking back to last year, we played a tough schedule and we lost some games early and found out some things about ourselves through those losses that were very valuable as we moved through and tried to peak in March. The other kind of component to our schedule is that I think it's an important part of the process of continuing to build your program. And, we like to challenge, we like to say we'll play anybody, anywhere, anytime. And, I want to be able to sell that in recruiting to players that, hey, we're going to play against the best in the country, and that's served us well. And, I wanted for our fans to be able to come out and watch us play the best people in the country and to have some other great teams in our building. And so it's kind of twofold. But I think scheduling very difficult people has been really good for our program.
Thank you.
And I have no further questions at this time.
All right,
Thank
Coach.
you.
Thanks for being on with us today. Good luck this season.
Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay. Thanks to everybody for participating in the 2010 A10 Women's Basketball Media Day.
And that does conclude our conference call today. Thank you all for your participation.